Hello, Erica here, and today I wanted to talk about my favorite big books. So I have selected some books that are longer than 500 pages that I adore. And I just want to talk to you about them. A lot of these I read before BookTube, some of them I read after BookTube, but a lot of these I read a while ago. So let's get started. The first book I feel like I talk about a lot, but I also haven't talked about in a while, and that is The Complete Stories by Flannery O'Connor. I'm a little bit obsessed with Flannery O'Connor as a person as well as her writing. I adore these stories, and I think everyone should read Flannery O'Connor because she's amazing. Also, I have Flannery O'Connor postage stamps inside of my copy of this book. Flannery O'Connor is a Southern American writer in the in the mid-20th century. I can't get over my Flannery O'Connor stamps. And she wrote a lot of short stories, and they're the kind of short stories that you're like, okay, this is like cute, quaint Southern fiction. And you're going along and you're reading it, and all of a sudden you're like, nope, not cute, not quaint. Oh my God. She really likes to kind of pull the mask off of people, and she doesn't fuck around, Flannery. She does not. So that's recommended reading for everyone. If you're not into her complete stories, you can also get slimmer volumes of her stories just to kind of check her out. The next book I want to talk about is Fall on Your Knees by Anne Marie MacDonald. This is an amazing book that I read a couple of years ago. And it's one of those books where I can't remember every detail of it, but it had a really profound emotional impact on me, and I keep thinking about certain bits and certain scenes over and over again, even years later. I'm going to read you the blurb on this one. The Piper family is steeped in secrets, lies, and unspoken truths. At the eye of the storm is one secret that threatens to shake their lives, even destroy them. Set on stormy Cape Breton Island off Nova Scotia, Fall on Your Knees is an internationally acclaimed, multi-generational saga that chronicles the lives of four unforgettable sisters. Theirs is a world filled with driving ambition, inescapable family bonds, and forbidden love. Compellingly written, by turns menacingly dark and hilariously funny, this is an epic tale of 5 generations of sin, guilt, and redemption. That's basically it. So, it's a story mostly of these 4 sisters, and kind of a really fucked up family, and it's super dark at times, and it's super bizarre at times, and it's laugh out loud funny at times, but mostly they're all really fucked up, and they're kind of coming to terms with that and dealing with that. If you like family sagas and have not read this book yet, you need to get on it, because I love family sagas, and this might be my favorite one of all. So, I have plans to reread this in the near future, but I would definitely recommend it. I don't think I really need to talk about this book on my channel anymore either. It turns out that a lot of my favorite books in general are also large books, which is not very surprising to me. A Prayer for Me by John Irving is one of my favorite books of all time. It's a long book, but it has a really high payoff, and you should definitely read it. Half of a Yellow Sun by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I could also include, I think, Americana in this video. I believe that's also over 500 pages. But I picked Half of a Yellow Sun because it was my first Adichie that I read. And because of that, it has kind of a special place in my heart now that I've made it my goal to read everything she ever writes ever. This is historical fiction set during the Biafran War in Nigeria. And it takes place in the late 1960s. And it's just really moving. It kind of flips back and forth between characters, and it moves around in time a little bit, I believe, if I remember correctly, but you get all these really rich characters and kind of how this war impacts them and their relationships, and it's beautiful. So, highly recommend that. Middlesex is a book that I think a lot of people struggle to get through and have a really hard time with, but for me was a book with a lot of payoff, and that left me very emotionally distraught and with a lot of thoughts and kind of changed my life. This is a story of Calliope and her family, and it kind of goes back through generations and has again a bit of a family saga element to it, but it's mostly the story of Calliope, who was born as a hermaphrodite or as third gender, however you would like to say that, and her coming to terms with her gender and her sexuality, and also kind of her family's life in Detroit in the 60s, during kind of the boom of Detroit as a motor city, and then also during the race riots, and it's just really fascinating and really engrossing. So I recommend it. It is very slow going at first, and I know a lot of people put it down because of that, but it's so worth it. The next book I have read recently, and I do have a review of on my channel, so I'll link that down below, and that is The Little Stranger by Sarah Waters. I again think that this is always going to be a special book for me because it was the first Sarah Waters book that I've ever read, and now that I'm reading more of her work, I just completely adore her. And you know that first book by a favorite author is always so special. This is a really fucked up story, and I'm not going to talk about it too much because I am rambling a lot in this video, but I will link my review for it down below. If you're interested, please go check it out. The Magship by Robin Hobb is the second book in the Live Ship Traders trilogy, which is one of my favorite fantasy trilogies of all time, and this book is a chunker. This book is like 900 pages long, and it is so worth it, and I flew through it. It's incredible, and I have a hard time talking about what these books are about. But basically, they're set. It's so hard because this world is so complex, and she sets it up so well. It's set in a town where trade is a big part of the town, and traders have these ships in the older families that are kind of alive and talk to you, and there's a lot going on. I can't talk about it. It's amazing. Please go read the whole series. The first book is called Ship of Magic. Go read it. David Copperfield is my favorite Charles Dickens book, and that is a very unpopular opinion. But I love David Copperfield, and it's also a very large book. This is the story of David Copperfield, and just kind of his life. It's very Dickensian, of course, in nature, because I don't think you can call Charles Dickens' work Dickensian, because that's the point. It's redundant. But it's very typical Dickens, along the lines of Oliver Twist. So it follows a young boy growing up. He's had some hard times. He has more hard times. He falls in love. It's amazing. It's also said to be the most autobiographical of Dickens' works. So I think for that reason, I really enjoyed it because I found that fascinating. And lastly, a book that has been in the news lately is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is the first book in the Kingkiller Chronicles, the third book of which has not been published yet. So I need everyone to stop talking about it, how the trilogy is being made into a TV show, because if this does some Game of Thrones shit and the TV show spoils the book before it's even published, I am going to be pissed, okay? And I do not think I am alone in that, but I am going to be so upset. So yes, this has been in the news a lot lately. It was just picked up as a TV adaptation, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to be involved in it, so that's huge, and it's going to be amazing. But this is set in a world of magic. It is a fantasy trilogy, and it is about a character named Quoth who goes to study magic, and a lot of really fucked up shit happens along the way. It's really beautiful. It's really heavy on character development and setting. It's nice and slow moving. It's not as action-packed as a lot of other fantasy. Talking about it right now makes me want to reread it immediately. In fact, I might do that. No. It's so good. Anyway, those are some of my favorite big books. There are a lot of them. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again for more Vlogmas tomorrow. Bye!